So anxiety, yes. I've had anxiety.
All right, yeah.
I don't even know how long. As long as I can remember. Well, really since high school.
Is it better now? Is it better now?
I manage it very well now through yoga. Okay. That's why I got into yoga.
Gotcha.
I had been in and out of therapy, on and off medication. Realized I really didn't want to rely on a pill my whole life.
Okay.
What
medication were you on?
Oh, I can't even tell you. No idea.
Are you on that medication now?
No, I'm not.
Off completely?
Off completely.
Okay, that's good. You're off completely. You manage it. No medication. All right, cool.
Yep.
Very cool. So now back to the disorderly anxiety.
Disordered. No LY. Disordered eating.
Okay.
So, I have this weird relationship with food. I don't even know. It's kind of like obsessive, I guess. Like, it's not orthorexia where you like are so crazy and obsessed about the health and of like the quality of food. Me, it's like I kind of have this like binge thing going on.
Welcome, everyone, to Jon Levine's Destination Health. I am your host, Jon Levine, and I am here with Janelle Laurito. Janelle is a health coach in training, a yoga instructor, and I met Janelle about a week ago because I posted on Facebook and I said, who wants to be on Jon Levine's Destination Health? And I got someone said, Janelle Laurito. I do. I want to be on. Let me know. And then here we are, just like that. I have Janelle. What's going on, kiddo? How are you?
Hi, I'm well. How are you? Thanks so much for having me.
You kidding me? Thanks so much for being on. So you and I have something in common. This is interesting. We're doing IIN, Integrative Institute of Health, which I always have a hard time saying, to become a health coach. What do you think of this program?
Well, it's been incredible. So we graduate in a week, which is insane because it's been a whole year since we started. I mean, I've just learned so much. It's actually insane the amount I've learned. And all the topics that we've talked about, all the different teachers and hosts that they have on the program, I would have never discovered the majority of people that I have just such a deep connection with, of who I learned so much from.
You met me.
You met me. I met you.
Yeah. Now look at you. You're on my program.
Yeah.
The rest is history. This is perfect. So it paid for itself right there. But yeah, it's so interesting because you're bombarded with so much information on so many different topics, like sleep and water and nutrition and the importance of like having a good relationship and yoga and meditation. And it's just, there's so much information. It's like, it's crazy, right? Because I like the information. I know you do too, but it gets your head spinning like, what the heck? It can almost drive you nuts. But it's cool because, I had to go through the process in order to figure out that I wanted to do a podcast. And you know what? You and I were talking on the phone about this because what's interesting about a health coach, and you'll tell me in a little bit if you want to do it, because I know you're a yoga instructor now as well. The health coach, you really got to shut your mouth and listen and ask questions and figure out like what's going on with Janelle. Like, hey, Janelle, like the whole point is what's going on with Janelle, because it's unique to you. So maybe you're having a stressful relationship, or maybe, I don't know, you want to lose weight, or you want to gain weight, or you're not exercising enough, or your corporate job is too stressful. But the whole point of the health coach, not the whole point, is you're a guide, but you don't get to talk. So I'm rambling on. Like now, I wanted to talk, so I wanted to do a podcast. So I'm like, screw, I can't be a health coach because I'm going to screw these people up by opening my mouth, and they're the ones that have to speak in order to heal themselves, right? Am I making sense?
It is.
Help me out, because people probably.
It's definitely challenging. It's challenging when you are, I would say, we're both like people. We enjoy conversation. We enjoy dialogue. just we like feed off of each other, right? But like when you're as a practicing health coach, your job, like you said, is really to listen and to ask questions to allow the student, the client, the practitioner to solve those problems themselves. And like most of the time I feel like I'm just like itching, like, oh, you're so close, like you're almost there, you have it, but you can't put like the final two thoughts together, or connect the dots or whatever it is. So sometimes I'm literally just like clenching my jaw, biting my tongue. But it, in turn, as the program will say too, it's like this mirror effect. So like I realize I need to practice more patience. And so by acting as the coach in the relationship, it does allow me really to slow down and to deepen my own practice of patience and listening and what have you.
I just went through, like you just spoke for about 45 seconds, and it was so I could barely listen to a word you said, because all I could think of was trying to say something. And I'm like, what is she going to be done so I could just talk? Which means I should not be a health coach, because I'm totally going to screw these people up. That's partially true, actually. I'm actually partially telling you the truth. But no, I did listen to what you had to say, and that was very interesting. So do you want to be a health coach? Have you started? You have clients, right?
Yeah. So, oh God. Okay. So I started, I'm just going to give a little background of like how I got where I am now, but I need to explain how I got here first, I think. So I am a yoga teacher, and of course I'll be fully certified as a health coach in 1 week. I have clients right now. I teach yoga, almost full time, I'd say. But I started teaching yoga a year and a half ago. And through my teaching certification for that, I learned a lot about myself. Basically, it was one of those, I realized I am so unfulfilled in my life, but I didn't know what I wanted to do. And at the time I was working in corporate, in a marketing job at a company that I had been with throughout my entire career. I started as an intern there and whatever, I stayed. So it's all I had known. It was my comfort zone. I had grown there. I had built a lot of relationships there. And the work I enjoyed, I didn't feel fulfilled. So fast forward, I don't even know how I found IIN. Like, it was definitely one of those serendipitous things where I started really becoming passionate about the quality of food and nutrition and its role on our overall well-being. I have anxiety, so I started understanding more of like the gut-mind connection, i.e. what you put in your body, how you treat yourself really affects your overall mental and emotional health, not just your physical health. And so, I don't know, I found IIN, immediately enrolled. So I started last September, and by November, I had left my corporate job. Within the 3 or 4 months, I really just, I don't know, I understood that I couldn't live unhappily anymore, and I was holding back not just myself, but others that I could potentially be serving or helping. And so it forced me to figure out how the hell I was going to make money, because I was leaving a incredibly well-paying, consistent paycheck with incredible health benefits, everything.
Can I cut you off? You're going to make money because my listeners are going to go to Live Well with Janelle. Live Well with Janelle. And you can help them with yoga and health coaching.
Yes, I can.
And so here, you have had anxiety. And I don't know if you made this word up or not, but disorderly eating. Did you make up that word, disorderly? Is that a word? Is that a word?
Disordered. So
disordered. I'm disordered. Is that a real word?
Rather than an eating disorder. Because I think eating disorder has a connotation and a stigma around it.
What are you talking about here? Disordered versus what are you talking about? Disordered or disorderly?
Disordered eating.
You're screwing me up completely here. I'm disordered right now. She's laughing. This is what I want. I'm trying to
let's take a step back.
do.
Disordered. So anxiety. Yes. I've had anxiety.
All right. Yeah.
I don't even know how long. As long as I can remember. Well, really since high school.
Is it better now? Is it better now?
I manage it very well now through yoga. Okay. That's why I got into yoga.
Gotcha.
I had been in and out of therapy, on and off medication. Realized I really didn't want to rely on a pill my whole life.
Okay.
What
medication were you on?
Oh, I can't even tell you. No idea.
Are you on that medication now?
No, I'm not.
Off completely?
Off completely.
Okay. That's good. You're off completely. You manage it. No medication. All right. Cool.
Yep.
Very cool. So now back to the disorderly anxiety.
Disordered. No LY. Disordered eating.
Okay.
So, I have this like weird relationship with food. I don't even know. It's kind of like obsessive, I guess. Like it's not orthorexia where you like are so crazy and obsessed about the health and of like the quality of food. Me, it's like I kind of have this like binge thing going on where I'm very like drastic with how I balance or lack thereof food and lifestyle. But I've been working on this. I'm so hyper aware of it. I actually have my own coach who's helping me through this because I also believe that coaches and teachers always need a coach or a teacher. It's the same type of thing with a mentor or whatever. Like how else do we evolve and grow?
Yeah, I'm so screwed up. Can you be my health coach?
Yeah, of course.
I'm not that screwed up. I'm really not. But we all have issues.
Have our things.
Maybe, but I don't want to get too personal with you. Your whole job is to like bring out all my crap and.
Yeah, we're gonna work through it.
How about we start with you helping me with yoga?
Oh, 100%.
Okay.
I've actually. When does this come out?
When does what? The podcast? It's going to be all over the world.
Okay. Well, I will. So, I'm partnering with a really, really good friend of mine. I'll give you her name after, but Yogi Ano on Instagram.
Wasn't that Jon Lennon's wife?
I lost you there.
Wasn't that Jon Lennon's wife, Yogi Ano?
Oh, I don't know.
Her name? Yoko Ono.
Oh, yeah.
Close, who was that, Christian? Who was Jon Lennon's wife? Yoko Zuno. What the hell?
Yeah, it was Yoko Ono.
You're not paying any attention to this podcast. Christian, come on. Get off your phone.
Give us the tips.
Yeah. And you know what? I'm also going to need, Christian, seriously, I'm also going to need you at some point to like pull up some things that we're talking about. So like when we talk about any of the crap that comes out of my mouth, like, I don't know, like.
Jon Lennon's.
Yeah, like, and so I can look at it. Like if, like this, you know what? Here, disordered. I want to see if this is a word.
It is. They even talk about it in IIN.
Disorderly.
Disordered.
I'm going to find out right now if Janelle is making up words.
Look, I'll even look up the definition.
Disordered,
right?
Disordered.
My eyes aren't. I can't. Disrupt the systemic functioning.
Here we go.
Morally reprehensible.
A wide range of irregular eating behaviors that do not warrant a diagnosis or a specific eating disorder.
All right. I'm sorry. One says morally reprehend. That's pretty rough. Morally reprehensible. Talk about making someone feel bad about what they're doing. It's morally reprehensible.
You know, Jesus.
No, seriously. So like you're disorderly eating.
Yeah.
Was it like if you had a bag of cookies?
I don't know. I don't know if I can go like super. I don't know if I'm like totally ready to tell like my full thing yet, but essentially,
cool.
It started as a young girl. I never starved myself. I was never like anorexia or bulimic, but there have been different behaviors I would do essentially forever, based on different influences in my life. It's also been a way that I have like, I guess, something I can control or manage through my anxiety. So like, whereas some people look to like drinking and drugs, like other people look to food as like a control mechanism.
Sure.
That's kind of been my thing.
Yeah.
But working through it, I'm so, I'm
proud of you.
Good.
This is good. It's good.
We all have our thing, and that's part of mine. So
no, absolutely, and you shouldn't be ashamed of it all. I think it's awesome.
Oh yeah,
going through like the whole process of IIN and trying to figure out how to better yourself, and going from your 9-to-5 job, your corporate job, being self-aware, knowing that you were not happy and that you needed to do something else, and then that you're working hard to manage your anxiety, which you clearly are doing. You're off the drug. Let's repeat, you're off the drugs. So let me give you a little positive feedback.
Thanks.
Pat yourself on the back. You're great. You're a pretty girl. You're sweet. Look how personable you are. You're easy to have on the podcast. But you're also, this is what's amazing. And we kind of keep going over this over and over again. But I love how Janelle Laurito, has figured this out. You actually figured out you needed to get out of your corporate job. Maybe yoga helped you. This course, Integrative Institute of Nutrition, has helped you. And now you're off this medication and you're managing your anxiety. It probably doesn't go away. Like none of this stuff really goes away completely, but you're able to manage it and you don't have to be on the medication.
Yes.
So pat yourself on the back. Seriously. Like
patting.
Good stuff. Like really.
Thank you.
I'm proud of you. And it's funny because I just met you and I feel like.
Oh, we're like lifelong friends now.
Yeah. I have anxiety.
Yeah.
This shit my pants before this podcast. I did. I was nervous as hell. I was like, I was driving here and I'm like, I have anxiety. I'm like, my God, I have Jon Levine's Destination Health. And I'm nervous and I'm like, oh, Janelle Laurito. And I'm like, my God, do I know enough information? My anxiety was like through the roof. I mean, before we can get this thing set up, I was, Christian, you thought I was joking. I'm like doing jumping jacks. I'm doing jumping jacks to distract my mind.
See, to be fair, I wasn't like judging you because of it. I thought it was cool. I thought it was an awesome thing because I know sometimes my friends have moments where they're like, okay, I'm gonna just walk away for a minute. But like you made it productive, and that was cool. I hadn't seen that, and I know that's like not the biggest deal, but it was still really cool. So I clowned on you for a second. So I will say that, but it wasn't.
No, it's good.
From a mean place.
You were judging a little bit. No. I'm not that sensitive. But yeah, going back to the anxiety, seriously. Because now we're mirroring each other.
Yes.
Right? You had anxiety, still do a little bit, not as bad.
Yeah.
I have anxiety. I'm not kidding. I have anxiety.
Yeah.
Like I get anxiety. It's probably worse now than it ever has been, quite frankly. And I have to figure it out.
I think that's the majority of our society right now, is that we're in a high stress, high anxious environment all the time. And that we just like forget how to just chill the F out. And it's very, very, very simple.
It's crazy.
Really, it is. It's taking a deep breath.
Yeah.
and learning how to not listen to the mind. So a book that you should read,
okay,
that everybody should read, is called The Untethered Soul.
Untethered Soul. Is that another made-up word? Untethered. Is that a word?
It's a word.
Right.
I'm almost done with it right now.
I like it. Okay.
It will make a lot more sense, but it's about how it's looking at your mind and realizing that you are not your thoughts. Like, we are conscious soul beings, and our thoughts don't control like our life.
Interesting. So that little voice inside my head, that's not me?
That ego is not you.
That's not me.
Correct.
Because I hear there's 6 or 7 different little voices going
on.
Oh,
of course there are. And you're like, who do I want to listen to right now? Who's
is that a bad thing?
Yeah, no, we all do. We all do.
I got a couple different popping up everywhere. What is that?
Yeah.
No, don't do that. I'm talking to myself. I got to tell you this. So, venturing off into the yoga realm.
Yeah.
I just did yoga with I have 3 kids, and my wife took my daughter to the U.S. Open to see the women play tennis. So I was with my boys. I have a 7.5-year-old and a 5-year-old. And I wasn't sure. I had to get them out of the house because we were all bouncing off the walls. Speaking of anxiety. So we went to the beach. And we're members of a beach club. And they have yoga every Sunday morning at 10:30. I'm like, you know what? I'm getting these little fuckers out of here and myself, and we're going to do yoga. So we got off to the beach. We didn't have mats because I don't do yoga on a regular basis, which I would love to. And we'll get into that, your yoga expertise. So my God, this was awesome. Seriously. So the women were out there. It was probably about like 15 women, the yoga instructor, and with all their mats right on the beach. And I live in New Jersey, so I live right on the water. And my God, was that nice. If you're ever going to do yoga, I really can't think of a better place to do it if you have that option. If you don't have the option, I mean, yoga's great for stress release, but I got to tell you, I was proud of my boys. They did well, but there was a situation where there was what's the downward dog? Is that when then like your ass is in the air and like...
Yeah. So some people are like, what the fuck is this?
Yeah, I think there's a lady in front of me who farted right in my face.
Whatever, yoga doesn't care.
I care.
Let it go.
I care.
Yeah.
And I got to tell you...
That's an invasion of personal space.
It's not cool.
That is not right.
It's not cool. And here's the thing. We were outside, which, thank God. Because her IBS problems, like I don't want anything to do with it. So, I mean, I felt bad, but I'm like right between the eyes, like knocking my eyebrows right off of my face, like Jesus Christ. But it's possible. You know what? I will give her. It's possible that it was the seaweed, because sometimes there are smells near the ocean that it's like the seaweed or the algae. So maybe.
You're giving her like the slight benefit of the doubt.
I think she farted. I think she dropped.
The very slight.
So you know what? Now this, all right. And I also saw a picture on, let's give you another plug here. Live Well with Janelle. On Live Well with Janelle, if you go on, seriously, you will see a picture of you doing yoga on the beach. Yeah. Like, pull it up. Yeah, pull it up.
I post a lot on my Instagram too. I actually I ran a class on the beach. I did a yoga and brunch event at my beach club in Rhode Island.
That's the one. Yes.
A few weeks ago. And I'm hoping to do more. But I'm actually doing a full moon yoga one too for this.
Let's keep it to yoga and don't get crazy on me. There we go. Live Well with Janelle. So if you look, I think if you scroll down.
Are you on my website or Instagram?
We're on your website.
Okay. Oh, it's an update. But aren't we always trying to evolve it?
It looks great. Look at those poses.
Too.
Those poses. Look at those poses. My God. It's awesome. There you go. Yeah, that right there on the bottom right. That's the Rhode Island Beach Club where you did the,
Yeah, probably. Bonnet Shores Beach Club.
Yeah. So how many women showed up for that?
35 and one token male.
One
Shout
token
out to
male.
my friend Nick.
I love it. Good for him.
Yeah.
What kind of yoga are we talking about?
Okay, so I do vinyasa, but like if anybody knows anything about yoga, vinyasa is like literally just means breath to movement, so it's very open for interpretation. But I kind of am inspired by the Baptiste Power Series. I'm not trained in Baptiste, but Baptiste is a very specific type of yoga that's very power based.
Yeah.
And my yoga teacher is certified through Baptiste, so a lot of my influence comes from her. But yeah, doing yoga on the beach or anywhere when you are in direct contact with nature is like one of the most grounding, balancing experiences you could ever have.
Can you honestly feel the difference between doing yoga on a beach compared to doing yoga in a studio? Seriously, like if I...
Because energy is real. 100, 1,000, it's not even like a no down in my mouth. Yes.
So the Earth's energy.
It's all about energy. Yeah. And then as a teacher, the way that well, first of all, I never plan any of my classes because I go by the energy, whether it's where I am, the environment, whether it's in a studio, B, the people in the room, because everybody has a different level of effort, plus their energy that they're carrying. And then C, kind of just like my overall like mood and like what I want to do. So like the way I lead or instruct yoga on the beach is going to be very different than the way I do it in a 90-degree studio. So.
Elaborate a little bit. When you say you go by the energy, so you have 35 people, and what energy exactly are we talking about? Like you get there, you're ready to start, and the energy is what?
Well, they are, okay, I'll talk about this event in particular. This was on a Sunday morning at 9:00, and then we had brunch afterward. Everybody there was super happy and open, and a lot of people were nervous. This is the thing too. A lot of people, which I completely understand, have this misconception, I believe, that yoga is hard, or that you have to be super, or I'm not flexible. Like people just think you have to be flexible. Well, first of all, anything new you do when you're getting outside of your comfort zone is going to be scary or weird or uncomfortable, but like that, we just have to do it. Otherwise, you're not moving on to like the next better version of yourself, if you will. Similar to how I left my job. Like I wasn't going to just be stuck at this like level of comfort my whole life. Then second of all, I already lost everything. Oh, the energy of the 35 people. Okay. So, and then we were on the beach. So the weather that day was like sunny and warm. So everybody was just happy. The ocean itself was like calm. If the ocean was more like roaring, if say like it was really like the waves were like up, and then maybe I would have like kind of like kicked it up a little bit. Like you just kind of like go with like the energy around you, right? And so I kept this like more relaxing, deep breathing, slower movement, as more like of a grounding kind of restorative type of flow.
That's actually, in my mind, like I think a lot of this stuff is fascinating. Mm-hmm. So you're saying that because the ocean was more calm, you kind of kept it neutral as far as the energy. But if the energy was, if the ocean was roaring, you would have kicked it. You would have met that energy and kicked it up a notch. And that's like I never even
that's
thought
what I mean by like I try to go with the flow, like go with the energy. Like what I play music in the majority, well, all of my classes, I would say, if I'm doing it in the studio, and I always try to tailor the music to what it feels like.
Are you playing Huey Lewis and the News and Billy Ocean?
Maybe. I have so many different types of playlists and everything. I play Kygo a lot. Kygo's my like favorite.
I love Huey Lewis and the News.
I would love. It's a curious thing.
You're not Huey. Don't. Seriously, I love Huey Lewis and the News. I love like all the cheesy '80s music, and everyone makes fun of me all the time.
I'll have to add.
I don't know what's the problem.
Maybe I'll do like an '80s theme class.
What's wrong with seriously? What's wrong with Huey Lewis and the News? Is that because everyone hears that and they're like, Billy Ocean, Huey Lewis and the News,
nothing,
like Rockwell, like
nothing.
Am I showing my age?
No. They're great artists.
They're awesome, right? I just told someone the other day, I'm like, Billy Ocean. They're like, Billy Ocean has greatest hits? How's that possible? You're making fun of me.
I saw Huey live by accident 2 years ago.
Accident?
No, I went to a music festival, and then the guy was like, please welcome Huey Lewis and the News. What?
Oh,
I rushed to the front. It was awesome.
Oh, I love Huey Lewis. I love them. They're great. So you got to do an 80s. Will you come to...
I think I will. That just gave me a great idea.
Do 80s. Like, do maybe like one-hit wonders. Like, today's yoga is one-hit wonders.
Yeah.
Like Rockwell, Somebody's Watching Me, or all the other one-hit wonders.
I love that.
Everybody Wang Chung tonight. Just throw in some of that.
We built this city on rock and roll.
Because like everyone that hasn't heard these songs, we built this city on rock and roll. That's right. Stuff like that. They're just gonna be like, what?
I'm writing this down for real.
No, do it. Absolutely. You kidding me? What age? What's the age of the people of your clientele? Of your clientele?
Well,
we know it's all women.
The majority are women, but there are quite a few local men around that come to the studio. Or I also teach classes at different corporations or businesses. So that's still mostly women, but there are some men too. I would say, I don't know, anywhere literally from like 25 to 65.
All right. So they'll appreciate the 80s.
Oh, for sure.
A little different theme. What's
Yeah.
the deal with men? Why am I... What?
I don't know, because yoga in particular was pretty much developed by men.
Who developed yoga?
Oh, I mean, we could, that's a whole separate.
Yeah, gotcha.
I mean, it's been around for almost 5,000 years from early, books and readings and stuff. So
can you do why don't men do yoga? Is it because they're usually
a lot of men do yoga. I think the thing is, I think that most people, men or women, you have to find the right environment. So you have to find what studio you like, what types of yoga you like, because there's so many. But most importantly, in my opinion, is your teacher. You have to be able to jive with somebody.
Yeah.
If you don't like their style, if you don't like their approach, then you're not gonna get out of it what you could.
Or is that most men are working, 12-hour days and they don't have time?
Oh, dude, we are not going. Wait, continue, and then I'll.
Why? I don't know. I don't get it because the very few.
Oh, you think it's just all housewives? We're not going down this road.
I'm not bashing housewives. No, listen.
No, because a lot of the classes that I teach too, and a lot of classes that are around that are available are early in the morning or late at night.
Okay.
I think this has to do. Maybe if we're gonna go down the work route, it could be that people just don't necessarily have their priorities in order. In order to remain well.
Are you being I think you're being sexist. Are you being sexist right now?
No, you started going down this, and I tried to stop it.
I think you're right. I think you want to fight. Are you picking a fight?
No, I'm not gonna fight.
What time are the? I don't want to fight with you. You'd kick my ass. I saw your poses. I can't bend like that. That's oh my god.
No.
Yeah, I don't want to. If I could see me being stuck in the pretzel pose and having to bite my own balls just to get out of it. That would just feel because I'd be stuck the whole time. Well, think about it.
I have to injure myself in order to get out.
Oh my god. So you've seen some of these poses are just unbelievable. But no, I've done some yoga. I seriously, I did yoga with my boys, and I felt so much better. I did.
Okay, so tell me, how did you feel? What made you feel good about it?
Just the stretching, the different stretching. I don't know. It was interesting. I think the breathing along with the stretching. But for me, I think it was the actual having the instructor say, deep breath in here, deep breath in here. So for me, I love the exercise.
Mm-hmm.
And I think this was just a different form of exercise. So my body wasn't quite used to it because I don't typically do yoga. And I'm not bashing yoga. I love yoga. I mean it. I mean it. I don't do it often, but I should. And it's awesome. It's low impact. It's a lot of breathing, as you know. It is. Men are idiots. I mean, to me, it's incredible. Seriously, to do it. But I think it was the breathing. To answer your question, because sometimes I'm not breathing. I know it sounds weird, but sometimes I'm talking here and I'm still not. Breathe, dude. Breathe. We need to get some oxygen into our lungs. We need to breathe. We need to let it out sometimes. And I think that with the stretching and all these different poses, just, I don't know. The Earth's energy, as you would say, the Earth's energy Just the oxygen, the fresh oxygen from that area just got into my lungs. It worked. Listen, it worked.
Yeah.
It was great. I felt great afterwards. Then my sons started beating the shit out of each other again, and I had anxiety about 30 minutes later. And
another type of equilibrium. Yep.
It's a whole other story. But
what type of exercise do you usually do?
I try to switch it up. I'll do strength training 2 to 3 times a week and running. I've done a lot of different types of exercising in my life. When I was younger, I lifted a lot of weights. I was a little bit of a meathead. I would eat chicken. I would drink egg whites. I was a little bit, oh God. I look at some of the pictures and it was like Rocky type stuff. It's like go to the gym and just like lift, egg whites, chicken, steak.
Yep.
I am not like that at all anymore. In fact, it's the complete opposite. I do lift weights because I think weights are very important and I want to keep muscle. But I don't go crazy. I keep it to about 45 minutes and I keep it to 2 to 3 times a week. But I cross train. So like Monday, maybe like I'll run 4 to 5 miles. The next day, I'll do some strength training in the gym. Keep it to 45 minutes. I try not to overdo it. The next day, I don't want to keep doing the same exercise, over and over because I'll wear myself out. And then maybe the next day again, I'll run. And to be honest with you, if I can figure it out, I should incorporate yoga. So if I run on Monday, let's say, I lift weights on a Tuesday, my next day should probably be yoga. I just did weights. Running is, I just ran. If I could do the yoga, which is a different form of exercise, now I'm cross-training. Now you're on Thursday, maybe I do my run again. Friday, back to strength training. And Saturday, yoga. And then maybe Sunday, kind of chill out, active recovery. I'm not saying lay on the couch, but walk around and just kind of active recovery. That's in a perfect world, of course. But I try my very best because I can be very extreme. I've done some marathons, and I'm 200 pounds, so I'm not really built like a runner. But I've done an Ironman. I've done triathlon, so I can go and go and go, and I can get nuts. But that's a little bit too much, so I get crazy. So I needed to retrain my brain to say, hey man, 45 minutes of lifting weights, you're good.
Yep.
Walk away, you're done. 4 miles of running, you're good. I try to listen to answer your question, I try to listen to my body. And when my body is telling me, stop, I stop. Most of the time. I play pickup basketball. And there's times where I'll play one extra game more than I should, which I know, like if I play one extra game, my cortisol levels will rise. It'll be another half an hour. Maybe I won't sleep as well. It's all these little things that you got to be careful with.
Yeah.
And then if you don't sleep, you don't get that extra half an hour of sleep. You don't recover the next morning. And I say, hey, Jon, you just played one extra game of basketball. Didn't sound like a big deal at the time, but it was too much on your body. And now you didn't get your sleep. And now you feel like shit the next day. Not shit, but you don't feel like you should. Okay, now retrain my brain. Tuesday nights when I play basketball, stop. Play 3 or 4 games. When you feel good, get out of there. So that's what I do.
That's a great combination. And I think it's so honorable that you have the self-awareness to listen to your body. But I would say more importantly that you actually act on that. Because I think a lot of us, I'm guilty of this. This is something I'm working through with my coach, is that I'm aware of things. I know what to do, but for whatever reason, I don't act on it. So I applaud you when you say if you played the extra game and your sleep then is a little off, the next day you're off, that you actually take time to rest or recover.
So I gave you a compliment earlier, and I let you pat yourself on the back. Is this where I pat myself on the back?
You're patting yourself on the back. Yes.
I fuck it up plenty of times. Believe me.
We all do, because we're not perfect. We're just doing the best that we can.
Really? I know. No. I am a little self-aware. I try my best to keep I try to keep balance. I try not to get too high. I try not to get too low.
Yeah.
I try. I do a very good job of it. But it's important to me because if I don't exercise, if I don't eat well, if I don't get my sleep, if I drink too much coffee, a lot of the things that I know affect me in negative ways, it just doesn't go well. So, I mean, to each his own. I mean, I don't, like, part of this podcast is not to push, what works for Jon Levine and what works for Janelle. It's, here's the information. This works for me. If it works for you and you can apply it, then if it can improve someone's life, great. But everyone's different, so,
sure.
But getting back to the yoga. So, what is the funniest moment you have ever experienced? The funniest during one of your yoga classes? Did someone's pants rip and their balls fell out or something?
Oh my God!
Did you see did a boob pop out or something?
I don't know.
I'm getting to be a dirty. I'm 43. I'm like a dirty old man.
It's one of those like. I don't know. The one thing that comes to mind is like, I don't know. It's like funny because it was like something I just like didn't know. Okay. There's a type of yoga style called Kundalini yoga. And I wasn't teaching this.
Kundalini?
Kundalini.
Sounds like oral sex.
It's like,
would you like Kundalini tonight?
No,
sweetheart, I'm not in the mood. Let's do something else.
You want to talk about getting high, whether it's a yoga high, whatever it is, like Kundalini yoga is what everybody needs if you want an euphoric out of mind.
How do you spell that? Kundalini.
Kundilini.
Kundalini.
It was brought here to the West, to America in the 60s because the guru who brought it, I always botch his name, Yogi Bhajan, brought it here because he noticed everybody was like taking all these drugs and going to these, the same type of thing, like music, the energy like gets you whatever to a different state of being. He literally introduced Kundalini yoga here because he was like, people are looking for something external where they have it inside already. Like, this is what you need. So in my teacher training, one of my teachers is a Kundalini teacher, and I think I'm going to her class tonight. I can't fucking wait.
Can I go to her class?
You do a lot of these quick breath work things, I guess, exercises with like other types of physical exercise. So like there was one time where for 12 minutes we had to do breath of fire, which is this deep breathing in and out through like your nose. I don't know if I can demonstrate.
Show me. Now you got to show me. Give me an example.
I'm trying it. I have to it's like really quick breath, like so we like in and out through your nose, but from your diaphragm for 12 minutes doing that while doing squats.
Ooh.
And then doing this weird like arm thing where for 12 minutes, I don't know. You might have to try this after, even for just 1 minute.
What the heck is this?
Knowing that you've done triathlons and stuff, you could probably do this, but it was insane because none of us knew what the hell we were doing. And she was like, okay, this is how we're going to like get energy moving. And you're doing these like weird shoulder, arm movements, squats, this weird breath of fire for the first time ever.
Oh my God.
It was wild.
So you're squatting, you're doing these crazy breathing methods, and you're moving your arms around like this?
You're like kind of doing it. Yeah, kind of like arm rotations, or I don't know if we were doing that. I don't even remember. I was just like, what the hell are we doing? And I was in teacher training. So I was with like 12 other people and we all were just like, we didn't know what to do. And like, part of it is just like, go with the flow. Like, we'll figure it out together. But it was wild. So I guess that was like one of my like funny experiences. Like, Kundalini. I don't know. I can't think of anything that was like out of this world, like weird or funny or
How did you feel after Kundalini?
Did
it work?
Telling you. So where I take Kundalini here in Rhode Island is in Newport. Longtime son, Kyla Mayer. She's the best. I have to drive over. I'm only like 15 minutes away, but I have to drive over 2 bridges, and I have to give myself an extra like 20 minutes after class, because before I drive, especially over the bridges, because I have to like understand, I have to like come back to this world. It is such a fucking high. I can't even describe it.
Are you smoking pot? Or are you doing Kundalini?
No, I'm not smoking pot. No, it's literally this type of yoga.
Are you smoking pot while you're doing Kundalini?
No,
You sure? What the hell's going on here?
People do. I'm sure people do, but no, I haven't tried it.
I might try that.
I would not be able to. I would like literally be out of this world then.
Jesus.
You have to try it. There's got to be plenty of places around you that have it.
So what do I search? Kundalini near me?
Kundalini yoga. It's a type of yoga that you would see people wearing like white tunics, a lot of like white cotton cloth, the white turban around the head. It's all very purposeful and really intentional as to why, but yeah, right. It's fucking crazy. So you have to try it. Very different. It's like total, very, very different than your beach yoga.
I'm going to type Kundalini near me, and then my wife's going to go into my office, and she's like, how many times did I tell you to stop looking at porn?
Yeah, exactly.
And I'm like, you know what? It's because Janelle Laurito told me to type in Kundalini near me. So if you want someone to blame her.
Sorry.
Who's Janelle? This is Janelle. She's a Kundalini teacher, in the Kundalini area. No, all right. Yeah, seriously, that sounds pretty good, to be honest with you. Kundalini, I've never heard of that. See, that's what's so amazing. Like, there's so many different things out there that work, right? That you never hear of. I've never heard of.
For sure. So many.
Like, I'm into this stuff. I'm into health. Like, I'm just, like, nuts over this stuff. And I've never heard of that.
No. Yeah. It's crazy.
No, I'm checking it out. I really am.
Yeah, you have to.
Yeah.
Let me think.
Can you hear me?
Oh, I lost you for a sec. I can hear you now.
Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now? There's got to be something funny, though. Something happened where...
I mean...
No one's passed wind, or, like... Maybe that's not too funny anymore.
I don't know. I guess no, but, like, I'm going to have to...
It'll play it out.
I'm sure there's going to be something that happens soon now that we've put it out there.
There you go.
Anybody gets stuck.
Ooh, I like that. Has anybody got stuck in a pose that you have to actually...
That happens to me sometimes but my teacher will help me, like, get out of it. Like, in different, like... Yeah, totally. My teacher will just help me.
Like, you're literally...
Most teachers would. I'm trying to even think of, like... I'm not the best yoga teacher. I forget a lot of the names. Because well, in terms of how you go from one to the other. Hold on, I'm going to look it up.
You are the best yoga teacher because it's your energy. It's your personality.
Wow. How sweet.
But seriously, it's about the teacher, right? You can have the Ferris Bueller teacher who may know everything that they're talking about, but it's like Bueller. You'll be passed out cold. Yeah, or you can have Janelle, who's got high energy, a smile on her face, and she's ready to rock and roll, playing We Built This City. And you're like, who's better than this girl? Nobody's better than this girl.
Wow, John, you're too nice.
It's the truth.
Thanks.
It's always about the teacher.
I think so, just like anything else. Yeah. Whatever type of exercise you're doing or whatever type of thing you're learning.
Yeah.
Like, who is your favorite teacher in IIN?
My favorite teacher.
This is the trick. This is because there's a lot of different...
I like David Wolf.
Oh,
the raw guy.
He is fascinating.
I like David Wolf, the raw guy who eats only raw food. And I liked him because he kept me on my toes. Because he was like...
His energy.
Yeah, he was like, he had like food in his hand and food was flying all over the place. And he was like just so into it. Like chocolate mushroom, you got to eat chocolate mushroom. And he was like, if you don't want to eat chocolate mushroom, I'll have more chocolate. It's more chocolate for me. Don't worry about it. He was like, so yeah, it was like, this guy's, he's into it. Like I'm listening. Who was the other guy? There was the other guy was Earth. He was the air, water, and... the
elements.
Yeah, all about the elements. He was into it too.
Earth, Wind, and Fire?
It was Earth, Wind, and Fire, and there's one other one. He lives in nature, right? I believe he actually lives in the woods.
I'd have to look.
I can't remember his name. But he was super into it as well. And his passion and his energy was like infectious. So when he was bouncing around the stage and like he was like, oh man, don't get me into like, air and why air is important. And I was like, this guy's great. I like it. And those are the guys that I like. There was a lot. But it's usually the high energy guys that kind of keep me on my toes. It's the more calm, melancholy. I need some pizzazz. I need something. Come on. You know what I mean? You have to be into it for me to be into it. If you're not into it, So, all right. So who was your favorite?
I have a couple. The first one that comes to mind is Maston Kipp. He was, he was like the cherry on top of what got me to leave my job. He talked all about, he has, his business is Daily Love or something like that. He was like, why the fuck would somebody name a site Daily Love? Like you have to produce content every single day.
Hey, watch your fucking language on this show, okay?
Yeah.
Just don't let it fucking happen again. You were saying Maston Kipp?
He talked about what was the one thing you're petrified of doing. Do it.
Yeah.
And I was like, all right, I'm doing it. And I did it. So he was one of my favorites. And then anything with like Mark Hyman, Dr. Mark Hyman, I'm just obsessed with him.
Yeah.
I think he's brilliant. And David Wolf for sure, because of his energy, his personality. I was like, oh my God, I am going to become vegan and eat raw everything. And then I was like, no, I can't do that. I personally can't do that. A lot of people can, but I can't. So.
I'm obsessed. I'm what do you say? I'm obsessed with Hyman as well. I really am. And not Dr. Hyman, the other Hyman. And Dr. Hyman.
Who's the other Hyman?
The other Hyman. The Hyman they should learn about in school. My mind is in the gutter. I'm sorry. It went right over your head. God.
Oh wait.
No, it didn't. I just was like.
When I say stupid jokes, you're supposed to understand them. So you just laugh naturally without
like. Do you want me to get like the studio audience laughter set up for you next time?
No, you're like, what? It was a dumb thing to say. You said Dr. Hyman, who honestly, legitimately is a great doctor, functional doctor, awesome guy. Really, I'm obsessed with him as well. And yes, whatever. I made a joke. It was a bad joke. It went over your head. Wasn't that funny? All right, forget it.
Get the audience booing.
Boo, you moron. I am just joking. I like Hyman.
There's no way to dig yourself out of it.
I don't want to dig myself out of it.
You created the pit.
I'm like a dirty old. I'm 43. I'm a dirty old man. So, no. I am lucky. I have a beautiful wife. I have 3 beautiful kids.